Shri Radha Krishna in Namo Namaha. At first, I offer my humble prayers in the lotus feet of Lord Shri Radha Krishna. I also extend warm greetings and respect to all of you. Today, from the scripture UDDHAV GITA, the last message of Lord Shri Krishna, we will be listening chapter 14, where Lord Shri Krishna is instructing his dear friend and devotee UDDHAV about practice of devotion. The holy words from the scriptures are as follows. The Lord said, "One who is endowed with scriptural erudition, culminating in realization, who has attained to the self and has not mere theoretical knowledge, should surrender knowledge to me, knowing the universe to be but an illusion. For I am the desired goal of the Jnani and its efficient means. I am his worldly prosperity as well as liberation. There is nothing else but me which is dear to him. Those who have perfected themselves in knowledge and realization attain to my supreme abode. Since the Jnani cherishes me through his knowledge, therefore he is the most beloved of me. Austerity, pilgrimage, repetition of the mantra, charity, and whatever else is sacred cannot improve that perfection which springs from even a modicum of realization. Therefore, O Uddhav, dwelling on your own self till the attainment of realization, be endowed with knowledge and realization and worship me with devotion. Sacrificing unto me, the self and Lord of all sacrifices, in their own selves, through the sacrifice of knowledge and realization, sages have attained to perfection in that they have realized me. The threefold modification, O Uddhava, which has come upon you is an illusion, for it only comes in the middle and is not at the beginning and end. When birth and such other things befall it, what is that to you? For that which exists at the beginning and end of an unreality alone persists in the middle. Uddhav said, O Lord of the universe, O thou whose form is the universe, please tell me how this pure and ancient knowledge, which is coupled with dispassion and realization, becomes steady. Please also tell me about the systematic practice of that devotion to thee, which is great. O Lord, for a man smitten by the threefold affliction and suffering torment in the dire pathway of the world, I see no other refuge than thy feet, which act not only like an umbrella but also rain nectar. O thou of wonderful powers, deign to save this man fallen unto in this worldly pit and bitten by the snake of time, and withal thirsty violently after trivial pleasures, and sprinkle him over with words that conduce to liberation." The Lord said, "In days gone by, King Yudhishthira asked the very same thing of Bhishma, the best of pious men, in exactly this way, to which we all listen. When the Mahabharat war was finished, he, overwhelmed at the death of his relatives after listening to various other religions, inquired about the religion of liberation. That religion, enriched with knowledge, dispassion, realization, faith and devotion, I am relating to thee, as heard from the lips of Bhishma. I consider that as knowledge by means of which one sees the 9, the 11, the 5, and the 3 things in beings, and also sees the One in all these beings. This very knowledge becomes realization when one more sees things pervaded by the One as before. One should see that things composed of the 3 gunas are subject to origin, continuity and dissolution. That which, when one object is transformed into another, abides at its beginning, middle and end, and remains when those objects return to their cause, is verily the real. Vedic test, direct perception, tradition and inference, these are the 4 proofs of knowledge. Since this ever-changing phenomenal world does not stand the test of these, the wise man turns away from it. Since all work is subject to change, the wise man should look upon unseen happiness also even in the sphere of Brahma as misery and transient, just like the happiness we experience here below. O sinless one, I have already expounded the philosophy of devotion to thee. But since thou hast taken a fancy to it, I shall again describe the chief means to the attainment of devotion to me. A constant regard for the wonderfully sweet tales of my deeds, expounding them to others after hearing, attachment to the worship of me, and praising me with hymns. Delight in service unto me, making prostration before me, worshipping my devotees, which is even greater than the worship of me, and looking upon all beings as myself. Moving the limbs so as to serve me, recapitulating my attributes through speech, surrendering the mind unto me, and banishing all desires from it. Giving up riches, enjoyment, and happiness for my sake, making sacrifices, gifts, and Homer, repeating my name, undertaking vows and austerities, all for my sake. O Uddhav, by such pious acts, men who have surrendered themselves unto me acquire devotion to me. What other objects remain to be achieved by such devotees? When the mind, pacified and enriched with sattva, is surrendered unto me, who am the Atman, the devotees attain to religion, knowledge, dispassion, and extraordinary powers. But when that mind, placed on sense object, pursue them by means of the organs, it becomes rajasika, and attached to unreal things, whence, you must know, proceed the very reverse of the above four qualities. That religion is called the best which makes for devotion to me. Knowledge is the realization of the unity of self. Dispassion is non-attachment to sense objects, and extraordinary powers comprise extreme minuteness and so forth. Uddhav said, of how many kinds is Yama, O chastiser of foes, and Niyama also? What is calmness and what is self-control, O Krishna? What is fortitude and what is patience, O Lord? What is charity? What is penance? What is valor? What is honesty? And what is truthfulness? What is renunciation? What is wealth worth coveting? What is sacrifice? And what is religious remuneration? What is the strength of a man, O sire? What is fortune? And what is profit, O Keshava? What is learning? What is shyness? What is the highest beauty? What is happiness and what is misery? Who is a scholar and who is a fool? What is the way and what is its reverse? What is heaven and what is hell? Who is a friend and what is house? Who is rich and who is poor? Who is mean and who is lordly? O Lord of the virtuous, answer these questions of mine together with their opposites. The Lord said, non-injury, truthfulness, non-stealing, non-attachment, shame, non-accumulation of wealth, faith in God, chastity, silence, patience, forgiveness, fearlessness, purity of mind and of body, repetition of Lord's name, austerity, offering of oblations in the sacred fire, faith in one's self, hospitality, worship of me, visiting of holy places, working for the good of others, contentment and service unto the teacher. These group of 12 virtues enumerated in the above two verses constitute the yamas and the niyamas. These, my friend, if rightly practiced by men, surely produce results according to their desires. Calmness is a steady attachment of the mind to me. Self-control is control of the sense organs. Fortitude is a bearing of grief. Patience is a perfect control over the palate and sex impulse. The highest charity is the relinquishing of the idea of violence towards beings. Penance is the giving up of desires. Valor is the conquest of one's nature. Honesty is looking upon everything with an equal eye. Truthfulness is true and agreeable speech, which the sages praise. Purity is non-attachment to work, and renunciation is the giving up of work. Religion is that wealth which men may covet. I, the Supreme Lord, am the sacrifice. The imparting of knowledge is religious remuneration. The highest strength is the control of prana. Fortune is my divine state. The best profit is devotion to me. Learning is the destruction of the idea of multiplicity in the self. Shyness is appearance of evil deeds. Beauty consists in virtues such as a spirit of independence. Happiness is the transcending of pleasure and pain. Misery is the hankering after sense pleasures. A scholar is one who has distinguished between bondage and liberation. A fool is one who identifies oneself with the body, etc. The right way is that which leads to me. The wrong way is that which causes disturbance of the mind. Heaven is the rise of sattva in the mind. Hell is the rise of tamasa in the mind. The teacher, who is no other than myself, is the friend. O Uddhav, the human body is the home. He indeed is called rich who is rich in virtues. One who is discontented is poor. He who is not a master of his senses is mean. One who is not attached to sense objects is lordly. One who is attached to sense objects is the reverse of him. Here, O Uddhava, I have fully answered all your questions well. What is the use of dilating on the characteristics of merit and defect? Defect is distinguishing between merit and defect, and to be free from both is merit. Thus concludes Chapter 14 from the scripture Uddhav Gita, the last message of Lord Shri Krishna. Thank you for listening. Shri Radha Krishnai Namo Namaha.